Hello everybody, Ron Wildman here on Middle Georgia Spotlight. And we're kind of letting our tie dictate what we do on this program. This is one of my Thanksgiving ties. And our guest to talk about my tie and everything related to it, Kathy McCollum with the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank.
Hello.
Glad to have you here. You've been with them how long now?
I've been there for 6 months.
My goodness, right in the middle of everything.
COVID was already in full swing, and I tell people all the time that I really don't know what normal is like at the food bank.
Well, to most of us, the food bank was for folks on the edge that just didn't have enough, and we had to help them from time to time. But it's not that way anymore, is it? There's a lot more people needing food that you have out there.
There really are. We talk about people being food insecure, and a lot of us think that those are maybe people who don't ever have anything to eat, and that's really not the case. We count the number of people who are food insecure as the people who don't have the resources they need to consistently provide nutritious food for their families.
Do you ever get many stories of why they're in that situation?
We run the warehouse here for 24 counties, so I don't frequently see the people who are receiving the food, but I do talk to a lot of the agencies, the partner agencies that we have, and I ask them for stories. And I hear heartbreaking things about families where there was a gentleman the other day that came to one of the food pantries to actually do some volunteering because he had some court-mandated community service hours to perform, and he said, I can only be here for 30 minutes because I'm a single dad, and my mother, who lives with us, is at home with the 6 children who are doing school virtually, and I can't leave her there very long. I need to get back to help her. So the people at our pantry said, absolutely, we can use your help for 30 minutes. They needed an extra pair of hands and a strong back. And while he was there, they asked if he needed some food assistance. And he said, yes, that would be great because my neighbor has been coming here to get food and then she's been sharing it with me. That's a family of 8, 6 children, the single dad and his mother. We hear stories about grandparents in their 70s and 80s who were raising children on a fixed income, yes, which you can imagine they had not had the resources to do or prepared for that at a later time in life. We hear of people who worked in like a temporary agency job whose hours have been cut during COVID. I had a young man filling out a form at a mobile pantry distribution a few weeks ago. And I asked him a question. He had left off the county on the form. And I said, sir, can you give me the county so I can fill out the form? And he got really flustered and he told me that he works for a temporary agency. He said, I'm not getting many hours. I've never done this before. And you could tell that he was very hesitant to ask for help. So I assured him that that's why we're there.
Now, do you deal directly with that person that needs help, or do you go through the county and then the agencies? How does that work?
We have, across our 24 county area, we have about 170 partner agencies.
My goodness.
These are groups that have made an agreement with us where they can receive food through the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank, and then they have to make sure that their staff is trained. A lot of these are volunteer groups. Many are faith-based. So we have a lot of food pantries where people can go to get emergency groceries in different churches or civic groups or whatever across our 24 county area. It also includes soup kitchens, so where people can go and get a hot meal. It includes services like Loaves and Fishes in Macon, where people can come to get a meal and maybe a few groceries to take home with them. Organizations like the Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, they also receive food from us.
Can churches give you a call?
Churches can, and we really ask for organizations to partner with us because getting that food out through our network of partner agencies is really the best way for people to receive that consistent food assistance that they need.
Now, closest I've come this time being around your food services are the handouts, the various handouts. I go around and shoot some pictures of them and post them. How does that work?
Well, we call those mobile pantry distributions.
Mobile pantry.
And that's in addition to the network of partner agencies like I just described. We realize that the need is greater, and there are actually some counties where we have very few partner agencies. So we need to get food to those counties as well, because we are a part of an organization called Feeding America. It's a nationwide network of food banks. There are about 200 food banks across the United States that's part of that. And we have some reporting requirements that help us make sure we are being equitable with our food distribution. It's pretty easy to distribute food in Bibb County. Even though the population is larger, we also need to make sure that we're getting to Wilcox County and to Macon County and to Crawford County. So we're making sure that if we don't have enough pantries in that area, enough agencies in that area, that we also take in a truck full of food. And these are announced through our local media. Our local media does a great job of telling people where they can receive help. And so a lot of times people will call our office saying, "Where's your truck going to be today?" But we'll take a truckload of food out to a place where we've got some trusted volunteers there who can repackage that food and then have it in boxes and bags that can be put into the vehicles of people who show up and get in line during that day.
Speaking of volunteers, do you need volunteers?
We need volunteers working at the different partner agencies, and we will oftentimes will have people who want to volunteer at the food bank. And because I'm so new there, I haven't seen the food bank in normal times. They tell me before COVID that we would have volunteers come in and sort through some of our donations, because we get boxes or bags of assorted products and we need to separate it out so then it can be distributed to the agencies. And we also had had people come in and pack those boxes to be distributed. But because of COVID, we're wanting to make sure we're extra cautious in keeping our staff safe and keeping volunteers safe. So we haven't had volunteers come into our warehouse.
So the volunteers would probably go to your agencies out in the field and help out that way. That'd be the best way to do it.
That's very much the best way to do it.
Yeah. Now, where do you get the food? Where does it come from? I was at the warehouse and it looked like a big grocery store warehouse.
That's exactly what it is. We are the hub of that distribution. We receive over 70% of our food through the USDA, the Department of Agriculture.
That much?
That much.
That's wonderful.
And there, when you saw this morning, when you were there, you saw the pallets of sweet potatoes, of canned sweet potatoes, or the pallets of rice, or the pallets of split green peas. Those came from USDA. We also receive donations from retail partners and food processors. So we'll get phone calls from our grocery stores around, Publix, Kroger, Sam's, Walmart. All do a great job of keeping us in mind when they have products that they need to donate. They'll let us know. We'll go pick that up. Sometimes we have it delivered. Frito-Lay is a great partner. Purdue, Tyson. We get a lot of donated products through different retail stores and food processors as well.
What kind of foods do you get from them? A little bit of everything, or what?
Well, sometimes we get cases of things that they are ready to either they're getting close to their expiration date. Back during the summer, we were getting a lot of produce. We get meat from time to time. We get just different things. In fact, I heard a good story the other day from one of our partner agencies. We sometimes get pastries, bakery items that are getting close to their expiration date. But one of the ladies at one of the pantries that's very active here in Bibb County told me a heartwarming story about a little girl who came with her mom to get some food, and it just happened to be the little girl's birthday. And the little girl was so excited to get cake in their package of products. Now, we don't get large quantities of cake. That's because we had the retail partners who needed to move that cake out of their store, and we pass it on as quickly as we possibly can. The little girl explained that she was really excited about that because her mom had told her that there wasn't money for birthday cake.
Oh my.
But she got cake on her birthday.
Now, what are the much needed items that, can you tell me what you need more than others that you don't get much of? Maybe You don't get much birthday cakes.
We don't get many birthday cakes, but we have to move those pretty quickly too,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the stores aren't giving us their very freshest, just
Yeah.
baked this morning
Yeah,
cakes,
yeah.
which is understandable.
You brought some stuff with you.
I did bring some things with me. You ready for show and tell?
Oh, let's do some of that. Here.
We'll do some show and tell. We get products, anything that's really non-perishable.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, that's a staple. Folks love to eat that. Breakfast bars and cereal are
like
also
those too.
good. Anything that has protein in it.
That's a
we've
big
got
thing. Big
Protein
need.
is a big thing. And there are meat products
I
that
sure like this stuff. Spam. Once a month, I got to have at least a can of spam.
you got to have some of that.
Yeah.
Of course, this time of year, I love soup. So soup is a great thing any time of the year, but particularly in the fall. Can't go wrong with fruits and vegetables.
Can individuals donate this stuff to you?
Absolutely. And I've got some dried beans there. All of those are great products for us to have.
Speaking of individuals, the stuff a truck, WMAZ. Frank Malloy was out there the other night with you on the TV telling how you were filling 3 trucks up in 3 different locations.
We did. We had a wonderful invitation by Walmart to come and be in their parking lot. We were in Macon on Gray Highway, Zebulon Road, and then in Warner Robins on Watson Boulevard. And the community did a great job. 13 WMAZ is a wonderful partner. They gave us a lot of publicity to highlight the need for food and to invite people to come. And I was at the Zebulon Road location all day yesterday, and it was amazing to me because I think people have just heard so much about food insecurity, and especially around Thanksgiving. We say the word Thanksgiving on your tie. You've got people eating there, and that's what we all think about, is being around a family table with a lot of good food. So people really came out in droves yesterday. We had a list of items, sort of like these items, anything non-perishable. We don't particularly like to take things in glass containers because that can tend to make a mess. We move food with on pallets with forklifts, so we would prefer not to have glass. But anything else that's non-perishable is great for us. We had people come into Walmart yesterday. They'd pick up a little shopping list that we had available, and they would come back many times yesterday with a cart full of groceries and just push it toward our bin and say, "This is for you."
This is your list of items, some of them here, and just a little bit of everything, really, what we normally have to run a household with.
Exactly. It's what you and I would want to eat in the course of a few days. We wouldn't want the same thing every day.
Do you accept like cleaning products, like Pine Sol or Lysol, or?
That's better given to somebody else.
I understand.
We don't have a good way to distribute that. There are products other people need, but we do food. And if we do something other than food, we get ourselves distracted and we don't do food quite as well.
Well, don't get into paper towels.
We actually did have some donated paper towels and toilet paper when I first got to the food bank, and I couldn't find any of that at the grocery store.
That's right.
We actually had some, and it went out very quickly to our partner agencies to distribute to folks who needed it.
These partner agencies, what are some of the organizations in the counties that you deal with?
I will overlook somebody if I try to tell
just
you
some
off the
of
top
them,
of my head, but this is very much just a sample group.
Yeah.
Make an outreach at Mulberry Street United Methodist Church
yeah.
that has a soup kitchen. Loaves and Fishes, both the one in Macon and Loaves and Fishes of South Houston and Perry. Both shop with us very often to pick up food. St. Peter Claver, the Catholic Church here in Macon, has a food pantry, as well as many of the other churches around. First Methodist in Warner Robins, Trinity United Methodist in Warner Robins. There are also groups that are backpack agencies. Forest Hills United Methodist Church is the one that does the biggest volume of students. What
Is that
they'll
for
do,
weekend?
it's for weekend food for children who
Take home
rely on free and reduced price breakfast and lunch at school. And so the students receive a little bag of food, and it's not exactly this kind of food, but they'll get food that they can take home and have over the weekend. And when I say it's not exactly this kind of food, I call it child-friendly food and child-friendly packages. So it'll be fruit cups that are the individual type things that it's easy to peel off that plastic top.
Yeah.
Pop tops of beef ravioli, for
Yeah.
example, for the
Oh, I see,
protein. Small containers of peanut butter and jelly. We even have the little squeeze packs like you get ketchup and mustard at fast food restaurants. We have a little twin pack of one side's peanut butter and one side's jelly that's really popular with our backpack agencies, because what child doesn't like peanut butter and jelly? We have all sorts of different types of products that.
You may have mentioned this earlier, but fresh fruit, do you get anything like that?
Back during the summer, we were so blessed to get a lot of fresh produce, fruits and vegetables through USDA. It was part of what we called CFAP, which stood for Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. You also may have heard it called Farmers to Families. That was another big program that supplied fresh produce to food banks and also to other organizations to distribute it. We received through that program the fresh produce. We received a lot of milk. We got lots and lots of milk back during the summer.
That kind of surprised me at the what did you call when you hand out the bags of food?
The mobile.
The mobile place. They were handing out gallons of milk.
When I first took the job at the food bank, I was expecting everything to be cans.
Yeah,
the things that we've talked about
me
here
too.
that are easy for people to donate.
Yeah.
But we also have a large cooler. The other day I went in and we were low on, we didn't have any produce because all of that had already moved out and we hadn't gotten any recent donations. But that particular day we had many dozens of eggs, we had lots of cheese, and we had some almond milk. 2 or 3 days later we had another trailer load of fresh milk come in. We have a freezer, so we have meats, we have frozen chicken. The other day we got many pallets of frozen chicken thighs. So when we do these mobile distributions, we take a variety of food. We want people to have some meat. We want people to have some dairy and produce, fresh produce if we have it. And then we fill in with all of the non-perishable staples.
You couldn't do this if you didn't have the proper facility to store this. I remember not too many years ago, they were at another location, your food bank, and it wasn't anything near like what you got here now.
Right. It was downtown on College Street at
College
one
Street,
point.
yes.
And I don't remember the exact year. I've been told the history, but I haven't committed those facts to memory. But it's been out on Oakmulgee East Boulevard, close to Geico and YKK for some years now. And we moved into a facility that was previously used for a different business, but it's perfect for what we need.
Oh, it is a wonderful place. Now, you work with a board of directors?
We do. We have a board of directors.
How does that operate?
It works like any other nonprofit. We have a board that one of their big jobs was deciding who sits in my seat. So they made the decision to hire me back this spring, and then they provide governance for the organization. They make sure that we have all the right policies in place and any of the big decisions, and then they rely on me to run the day-to-day operations.
Now, do you have employees or volunteers, or how does the internal work?
We have about 15 volunteers now. We have not had volunteers in our warehouse in quite some time because of the pandemic. We have people who work in the office. We have the folks who do what I call the real work, the warehouse workers who are pulling the orders for these different partner agencies. We have our drivers who deliver the mobile pantry items out to the places where the distribution
quite a motor pool
is
out
done.
there.
We do. We have quite a motor pool. We have. They also do the pickups from those retail locations. When a grocery store or a food distributor calls us and they need us to come to them to pick up products to bring back.
Least you could do.
So absolutely, if you want to donate it, we'll come get it. In fact, this morning I had a call from a lady whose husband had plowed up a bunch of sweet potatoes and had more than they could use. So in the next day or two, we'll be going out to a house and picking up some fresh sweet potatoes that we'll be able to distribute.
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Just in time for those sweet potato
Speaking of
souffles.
Thanksgiving, anything special this coming week leading towards Thanksgiving dinner?
We have had a lot of agency orders. The way that happens, we have a computer system where we keep up with all of our inventory. which changes, as you can imagine, because it's a lot of it's based on donations, what we're getting from USDA, what we're getting from some of these big partners that donate to us. And then, like yesterday when we had stuffed the truck, we had 3 trucks full of assorted items because people went in and they purchased whatever items that they wanted to donate. So we're sorting through all of those. But we have all of that in our computer database, and then the soup kitchens and food pantries that are associated with us across the 24 counties go online. They can see what we've got in inventory, much like we do if we're placing an order at Amazon or anywhere, or if you're doing a grocery store order from Kroger or from Walmart or something like that. They can go online and place that order, and then we get a printout of what that order is. So an agency may want 10 cases of green beans and so many pounds of rice or whatever, and we go pull those and have it ready. So when the agency shows up to get that order, we have it ready. And so we move it out with a forklift on a pallet out to the loading dock, and keep a lot of social distancing now for the agency's representatives to pick up those products and load them in their vehicle.
Needless to say, 2020 has been a strange year, and Thanksgiving, we really don't know how it's going to go because of some of these rulings these states and cities have been making. Turkeys. There's an abundance of turkeys, as they are every year, and I imagine when they were planned a year ago, they planned for a lot of them, and there may not be that many sold. You think you might get many turkeys in before too long?
I don't know if we'll receive turkeys as an overage from our retail partners. In the past, we have had turkeys for previous years, but they didn't move quite as well. I know we had some turkeys in our freezer, and we had some agencies. In fact, somebody told me yesterday, I think that they had placed an order for turkeys and they had picked that up earlier. We ordered a lot of hams in preparation for the Thanksgiving holiday, and those have been moving as well. Hams
and turkeys. We got the Christmas season coming up. Will that make a difference? I know you haven't been with them last Christmas with a history, but I understand that's an unusual time too.
Well, I think families, just from my personal standpoint, families are having a hard time figuring out what to do, because even if everybody is healthy, you're not sure that you want to be all together inside one house to get together for those big meals. And for those of us who have families that are in a situation like assisted living, we can't really go sit down and visit with my mother-in-law or have her come and sit down at a table with us. We're visiting through a window or maybe a porch visit where that's allowed, but we're not sharing a meal together. So Thanksgiving and Christmas will look a lot different this year.
I was at a Civic Club meeting earlier today, and one of the speakers said that some rules say you can't have more than 10 people at your dinner, at your Thanksgiving dinner. But at a funeral, you can have 20. So they're going to have a funeral for the turkey and then get them an additional 10 people in there.
I think there's just a lot of uncertainty about what's safe, because we all want to keep ourselves safe. We want to keep our family members safe, particularly older folks in our family. So we're all struggling to figure out what that needs to look like this year.
Now, when the folks need help, what do? Of course, they can go to those agencies. Can they call you, and can you direct them to somebody, or what?
We get a lot of phone calls coming directly to the food bank, and so we're not set up to be the end distributor of that food. A lot of times people will call to want to know where our mobile pantry distributions are. We put those every Monday morning. We put them on our Facebook page, and that's where we direct people to find out where we're going to be that week. We are often asked why we don't publish it any earlier, but because we're relying on those volunteer host groups, we know that sometimes over the weekend plans for next week change. So we publish it on Monday mornings so that the folks across our area will know where they can go. We also have added to our website a list of the partner agencies that we have that are food pantries where you can get emergency groceries. We have that listed by county. We've got the name, address, the telephone number, the days and hours of operation. And so that's been really helpful for people. We've even added a map component to that, so people can look up on a map, find out what's close to them, and see when those pantries are open. When I get a call out of the blue saying, hey, I'm in Milledgeville and I need some food. I've got such and such a size family. That's the resource I go to. Is I go to our website, I look up where those people are. Okay, it's Thursday afternoon. Here's a pantry in your county that's open till 4 o'clock. I think you can make it to get there.
At these mobile distributions, do you try to put certain products in there every time, or is just what you have available?
It depends on what we have. We distribute a lot of USDA products that way, so we will have a lot of a certain item. We may have a pallet of sliced peaches or a pallet full of green beans, and so we will have that taken to the volunteer groups. We typically have a mobile pantry distribution designed to serve 250 families. So we will have, as best we can plan it with what we have on hand, either 250 or 500 cans of green beans, so that every box receives something that's very similar when we have those kind of quantities available.
Well, I didn't realize you got as much from the ag department as you do, but our grocery stores have been wonderful, haven't they?
They have been.
You want to talk about Kroger and Publix and anybody else you care to mention?
Well, not only do we receive the groceries, those kinds of products from those grocery stores, Publix has been a great partner, and Purdue had also given us large grants of money where we were able to upgrade our truck fleet. You were talking about the fleet of vehicles.
I was getting ready to ask you, how do you take care of that fleet?
Well, that's through a lot of donations from individuals who contribute to us, either monthly or a one-time gift here and there. But with the trucks that we had 3 not very reliable refrigerated box trucks. And we received a large grant from the Purdue Foundation and from the Public Supermarket Charities Foundation that provided funds along with grants from another agency that helped us be able to buy new trucks. We were able to take the refrigerated boxes off of the old trucks, put them on the new trucks, so we were able to save money that way. But now we have very reliable trucks to go out to make these drop-offs of the food to the mobile pantry distributions and to pick up the retail donations.
We talked about food donation, but you will take cash donations too.
Absolutely.
From average people.
Absolutely, we do. People can donate online at our website, it's a little hard to understand when you rattle off what sounds like alphabet soup, but it's the initials of our organization, Middle Georgia Community Food Bank, so it's mgcfb.org. There's a donate button there. People can donate using any type of electronic debit card, credit card. We certainly accept checks. Yesterday we received a lot of cash donations when we were out at Walmart for Stuff the Truck. We tell people we love donations of all kinds. We have opportunities to buy food with a little better cost perspective than just going into a retail store. So we can really make your dollars go far when we order the food at wholesale prices.
I was watching your 6 o'clock last night, and what's Frank Malloy really like?
Frank Malloy is the nicest guy. We were thrilled when he came out. We had different newscasters out at Watson Boulevard in Warner Robins early yesterday morning, and then at Gray Highway at the lunchtime newscast. But we were very thrilled to have Frank with us yesterday afternoon. We put him on the truck. He was interested in seeing everything, so we raised up the lift gate and got him and his cameraman Carlos into the truck so they could see just how many boxes and plastic bins we had already full, and we still were having people coming out of Walmart.
Well, Kathy, you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and the work you do is just simply wonderful. Say hey to Jeff Batcher, too.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Middle Georgia Spotlight. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm Ron Wildman here at WMUB TV.